I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, went to Patterson, New Jersey, moved to Brooklyn, New York, and boxing it caught my attention out of all the sports that I tried. There's a lot of bullies in Puerto Rico in school, you know what I mean? So by knowing that you box, you know what I mean, they give you some respect and they be like, yo, you start meeting new people and it's around the corner making money and you're like, you know, because when you're on the street, you know what I mean, like, and when you on your own, you know what I'm saying, and you're not in a gang or nothing, you still gotta make sure you're good, you know what I mean? And if you wanna be in the hood, on the grind, you gotta be strapped. There's no way around it. I did what I have to do. You know, I kind of went too far with it, but I'm glad that I didn't get locked up for life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I kind of lost it, but.
Ain't got a moment. When they see you down, just know they love it.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. I got special guests with me today. So why don't you tell the people your name, where you're from, and just a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Galan. Many blessings for the new year, 2025. Before anything, I want to give you your flowers, you know what I mean? You never know, there's no promise tomorrow. So, absolutely. You know what I mean? You're a good brother and you bounce back plenty times just like me, you know what I mean? I'm glad that we're here today to share a little something and hopefully make a difference to the world, you know what I'm saying?
And thanks for coming, man. And it's good to see you. I ain't seen you in a while, bro, so it's always good. Especially to catch up with people on this side, because you know how that goes. Sometimes you might not see somebody till years later and it's like in a holding tank somewhere or, you know, something like that. But we're going to get into all of that. So talk a little bit about where did you grow up?
I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. When I was young, I kind of went to Patterson, New Jersey, bounced back to Puerto Rico, and moved to Brooklyn, New York, bounced back to Puerto Rico, you know, like my father was an alcoholic, so my mom was trying to get away from him, you know what I mean? So we kind of like trying to get through life, you know what I'm saying?
So when you're bouncing back and forth, this is with your mother the whole time? She's not like sending you with like a grandparent? It's like you guys together?
Yeah, me and my little brother and shit, you know.
So like how old were you when you were in New Jersey, and then by the time you were in Brooklyn, it's still very young?
Yeah, very young, Okay. It was like Jersey was probably like 3 or 4 and Brooklyn was like 6 or 7, you know what I mean? But then after that, I stood in Puerto Rico for a while. Then we came to Boston. And my mom went back and I stood down here, you know? And then I was me against the world type of deal, you know?
Okay, so at that point, when she goes back, you stay here. How old are you? Like where are you in school? Is this high school yet?
It was around 16.
So around the time where you would theoretically be in high school.
Yeah, I was in high school and I got into some trouble and I did some time and I kind of like, she waited for me and she was like, I'm going back to Puerto Rico as soon as you're done doing your time and if not, you're gonna have to do what you gotta do, so.
So how were you as a student in school? It seems like, you know, you didn't really set roots down in one particular spot. You're going back and forth. I'm sure you're meeting new kids, you're getting new teachers, new classmates. How was the schoolwork for you generally?
I was a lot of in-house type of student, you know what I mean?
Like in-house suspension?
Yeah, you know, I was getting into trouble and things like that, but I was never focused like that into school, you know what I mean? And through the years, I started going through some speed bumps and learning and becoming the man that I am today, you know what I mean?
So what's your relationship with your father throughout this whole thing? You said that he was an alcoholic and your mom was trying to get away from that. Does he ever come back into your lives, or like to what extent?
He tried, you know what I mean, but he never got to accomplish his goal, you know what I mean?
Of sobriety? Did he struggle with that a lot? Did he try to, you know, clean up?
he struggled a lot with that, you know what I mean?
So what did that look like too? Because we all know, you know, what alcoholism a lot of times comes with trouble with the law, right? Was that something that your father was experiencing, that you remember growing up? Did he go in and out of jail or catching cases or anything like that?
Yeah, I heard about it, but I don't remember because he was really not in my life like that. When I used to see him, he was there for the ass whippings, you know what I mean, type deal, you know. But I don't remember him being there for a basketball game or when I used to box and things like that, you know. But, you know, my mother, it was my father, you know. My mother and father, she works 2 jobs. She do whatever she could to put a hot plate on top of the table for us. I respect that, you know. She's a strong woman, and that's where I got it from. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how much do you remember from the New York and New Jersey days?
I remember, like, certain things. I don't really remember much. Everything, it was a struggle. It was tough moving around and trying to start all over again, and different friends and areas, you know. But it was a good experience, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So talk about Puerto Rico growing up. Like, what was that like? I know they got what, the barrios, is that what it is? They got like some hoods down there. What's Puerto Rico like?
Puerto Rico, I'm in the countryside. I'm in Barrio Cortés, Manatí. We grew up poor, you know what I mean? It's a country area, but to this day you go there and it's amazing how a lot of people with a little money, they live happy, you know what I'm saying? And we over here dwelling in little things that don't make sense, you know what I mean, to stress, you know what I mean? But it's beautiful, it's peaceful, the people happy, they offer you food, you know what I mean? They're always, you know, up to something, you know what I mean?
Very proud people.
But it's like in all areas and places, it's always good people and bad people, you know?
Absolutely.
But as long as you're off the streets, you're good, you know what I mean? You live a peace life.
A lot of famous people come from, you know, Puerto Rico. They had some good boxers, you know, Miguel Cotto, you know what I mean? Baseball, you know what I mean? Was that something growing up in Puerto Rico? Like, what's the sports look like? You playing soccer? You playing basketball down the park? Like, what?
Yeah, in Puerto Rico, I feel like the 2 main sports, I believe, is like baseball and boxing.
Yeah.
And boxing, it caught my attention out of all the sports that I tried. I was bad on every sport, you know what I'm saying? And I believe boxing, it was the one for me. I loved it, you know what I mean? Not just because you learn how to fight, but there's a lot of bullies in Puerto Rico in school, you know what I mean? So by knowing that you box, you know what I mean, they give you some respect and they be like, yo, you know? I loved it, and when we left Puerto Rico, came this way, it was like no boxing and nothing like that, and you start meeting new people and the kids around the corner making money, and you're like, you know? So
you say when you moved up here to Boston, right? Is this really Boston, or what city did you come from? Haverhill.
Yeah, Haverhill.
Okay, so why don't you just, I never even think I've been to Haverhill, right? So why don't you tell me a little bit about Haverhill and like...
Yeah, we got Haverhill, we got Lawrence, we got Methuen, and they all, you know what I mean, around that area, Andover, all that, you know what I mean? So I was basically in Haverhill when I came from Puerto Rico, and then when they kicked me out of Haverhill High, I ended up in Lawrence.
But these are different cities, though, all right? I'm talking more about, like, how is Haverhill broken down? Is it like a south side, north side, east side, west side thing, or is it like
No, it's like Haverhill, and then there's a town next to it that is like part of Haverhill called Bradford.
Okay.
So that's like crossing the bridge, you know what I'm saying? But it's Haverhill / Bradford.
Just
you know?
the other side of town, pretty much.
Yeah, but
did you go to Haverhill High, or did you go that little?
I did went to Haverhill High, you know what I mean? Got in some trouble, so they kind of kicked me out of Haverhill High after I got into trouble. And
so I want to talk about that, right? Did you get in trouble at school, or is this something where you got in trouble outside of the school and then they look at that and they're like,
yeah, outside of school.
Okay.
Yeah, outside of school.
And you got arrested, I take it? Was this at this point, are you being charged as an adult, or is this a juvenile charge?
It was a juvenile charge.
Juvenile charge.
Yeah.
Okay, so this your first experience with the courts?
Yeah.
Okay, so what ends up coming from this first juvenile charge? Do you get committed right away, or do you get like probation, suspended sentence?
I ended up doing time.
You're a little further north. Like when I went to juvenile, we went to Boston Metro. Where do you guys go to juvenile up there?
Very first time I went to juvenile, I went to Hillside, got in a fight, and they sent me to Westboro Secure. And then I got our own bail. And when I got our own bail, I got into trouble again, and then ended up doing the time.
I'm always curious because sometimes it could be like super serious. This person might have, had beef with my family member, or it could be something as simple as this dude reached over my tray, right? Like, what was the fight over in juvenile, or do you even remember?
It was my first time, and you kind of in Hillside, when it's your time, they call you so you can make a call. I don't know, one thing to the other, it was my time to make a call. Some dude just mentioned my mom's type shit. You know what I mean? I kind of got in an argument. Then they told me to like stay on this chair. So when the dude, it was time to make his call, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just knocked him.
No.
And they put the handcuffs and they sent me to Westboro, yeah.
And then you make bail, so you still have the open case. What happens? You catch another case?
I ended up getting arrested for the gun that they never found.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at this point, still a juvenile charge? The gun charge? Do they revoke the bail?
Yeah,
Put you back in?
Yeah.
And then what ends up happening?
Yeah, they was trying to charge me as an adult, but I pleaded out before my birthday and ended up doing 10 to 12 months in the UIS.
Okay, where did you do the 10 to 12 at?
I went to JRI at the time there, JFK, what is it, RFK, I'm sorry, RFK. They had the pool, they had the basketball thing. It was like a pre-release, you know what I mean? And but they told me if I do boot camp, they cut my time short, so I did boot camp. Yeah.
So talk about that experience, right? The boot camp. Like, what's the average day? Like, they waking you up at 0600, bright and early. You gotta make your bed.
5 in the morning, oatmeal, outside in the cold. Yeah, it was tough. Yeah. It was tough. A lot of people that I met, especially a few brothers that I met from Lawrence that was locked up. They were like, I'm about to escape from here. I'm like, yo, you're already here, you know what I mean? Why waste your time, you know what I mean? You got a few weeks left, but it was tough, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that I hold on all the way to the end and made it, you know
Did you learn something from that experience?
Yeah, discipline, you know what I mean? You gotta be very disciplined, dedicated, you know what I mean?
That's important.
But yeah.
Do they try to teach you how to like carry yourself as a man, or what do they do there? Are they yelling at you and all that? Like, is it like the stuff you see on TV?
Yeah, it was literally like being the army without guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So doing that, did you now with that experience, right now you're getting ready to get out, right? You're done with that. Did that make you ever think about joining the military, or?
It crossed my mind, but at the point that I was already, it was like, I don't think they would take me anyways. And I was basically like in a position that it was like survival mode, you know what I'm saying? After my mom left and I was on my own. So yeah, survival mode, you know what I mean? Me against the world type deal.
So break that down, man. Like, mom leaves, I mean, where are you staying? You got your own spot, you staying with friends, family, what do you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, at that point I was just I had a cousin that was gonna buy a house in Lawrence. They ended up moving to one of the worst streets back then, which is Springfield Street in Lawrence. They had a block because they shot up a cruiser, a police car. So you know what I mean? I was like, lucky me, right?
Right.
But you know, everybody was cool, you know what I mean? Everybody respect each other, you know what I mean? It was sometimes, you know what I mean, we look up from the outside in and you be like, oh shit, you know, but then you meet people and you know, it's all love, you know what I mean? It just people like me, so trying to survive, you know what I mean, and trying to live, you know? So
describe Lawrence as a city for people who don't know. Heavily Hispanic, correct?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of Spanish people there, you know what I mean?
Does that make you feel more at home to be? Like,
yeah,
you know
for sure.
You got to speak that same language.
Yeah, you eat some Spanish food. I can go anywhere, eat some Spanish food and things like that, speak Spanish, and, you know, I love the culture, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's all love, you know what I mean?
For
like
sure.
when things change is when people that get into gangs, you know what I'm saying? And thank God I never got down with no gang, you know what I mean? Because I knew like so many people that got in different gangs, you know what I mean? It could be a brother in this gang and another brother in another gang, you know what I mean? And I see everything and I'm like, I don't want to be in that position and that I have to choose from my own brother to this person that I just met, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I always say to look for the win-win situations, and that's more like a lose-lose, right?
And it's a small town, so it's just a matter of time you're going to see that person.
But what do you think it is so attractive about the gang lifestyle, maybe for somebody, especially at a young age? They might not be thinking things all the way through. The money, the power?
I believe it comes down to, it's hard for people to be a leader, you know what I'm saying? When you're not a leader, you move different, you know what I'm saying? Meaning that if you're a leader, you're gonna make your own choices and you're gonna make the right choices that you think is for you.
Absolutely.
But if you're not a leader and you don't feel like you hold your own, now you're a follower because now you wanna be like this person or have these people have your back, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I respect everybody's decision because every hood is different, you know what I'm saying? And the point that I was, knowing so many people, you know what I mean, in jail or outside the jail, and knowing these brothers from this gang, and you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I show love to everybody, you know what I mean? And I did share with a lot of them that before they even came gang members, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It was not like I have to prove a point, you know what I'm saying? But it was all love and all about respect, you know what I'm saying?
At this age, right, you're doing the boot camp, juvenile. What ends up happening? Do you end up getting like your high school diploma or do you end up getting a GED later?
Yes, so when I did time in DYS, I got out, I started making poor choices, but you know, I was just in survival mode, you know, and you know, started selling drugs and stuff like that. And when I got locked up the first time as an adult, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take advantage of this time. I'm gonna go get my GED. I'm gonna do whatever I can do to better myself, you know what I'm saying? And then it was on top of that brothers that I knew from the street that was trying to get their GED, so it worked out perfect.
And this was in Middleton?
Yeah, that was in Middleton, you know what I mean? And I got my GED, I accomplished that.
Awesome.
And I did anger management. I did every single program they had. And I had a diploma of every single they had to, because you know what I mean? I was like, you know what? Since I'm here, I'm gonna try to better myself. You know what I mean?
Might as well.
And I did. You know what I mean? I did, but you know, sometimes you got to go through more speed bumps in life to try to
What was
get
that phone conversation like though with your with your mom? Like, was she proud that you got your GED in there, or how does you know?
Yeah, she was very happy that I got my GED. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
And all that. She was just not happy that I was locked up. You know?
But you know, you gotta try to, like, you're in there. You can't change that, but you can change. You know, choose what you do your time. So you get out. Did you start developing like a plan for when you get out? Did you plan on getting a job, or did you plan on hopping right back in the streets? Or
I was just young, living life, and just survival mode, and just. I was a little knucklehead.
Okay,
you know
so talk about that time in Middleton. Was this you serving a sentence? Is that when you got your GED?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your sentence?
I believe it was like 18 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get parole? Did you see parole or anything
I
like
got
that?
on probation.
Probation?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you end up hitting the farm?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
yeah.
So what do you do there? Do they put you like on a job crew? Like
yeah,
CWP?
so on the farm, it's a pre-release program, and you got to go by the rules they got there, and they find a job for you. It's like you work and you saving money, so like that when you get out, you have money to get back on your feet and not go the left instead of right, you know what I mean? So it was dope because it helped me out when that happened, so it helped me out a lot.
But so you get out and you said you were still, you still had to learn some things. So like, what's the next step after you get out? Do you just get back into the streets, and then like how does that eventually stop? You got to catch another case or did you violate the probation that they were released you to?
No, I wrapped it up, got caught again, you know what I mean? Because when you're on the street, you know what I mean, like, And when you on your own, you know what I'm saying, and you're not in a gang or nothing, you still gotta make sure you're good, you know what I mean? And if you wanna be in the hood, on the grind, you gotta be strapped. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's no way around it, you know what I'm saying? And
was that what your first, the county bid was for? Was that a gun charge?
No, it was drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the next time? You said you had to be strapped, you got caught with a gun?
Yeah, I got caught with a gun, yeah.
Okay, so is this the case that gets you indicted and brings you upstate?
This was a whole different story because, you know what I mean, it was an issue that after I did time, you know what I'm saying, I just got out and I didn't see my kid for a while, like almost 2 years, you know what I mean? When I get to see him, finally see him, and he was shy and trying to build with him, I felt like something was not right, you know what I'm saying? And I heard that my BN's boyfriend used to like beat on her and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, whatever happens between them, that's on them, but when it comes to my son, like, that's their business, but when it comes to my son, you know what I mean, it's a whole different choice, so I kind of like lost it, you know what I'm saying? When I find out that he was putting his hands on my son type deal, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, that's crazy.
You know, I did what I have to do, you know what I mean? I kind of went too far with it, but I'm glad that I didn't get locked up for life, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I kind of lost it, but.
I think those are one of those situations where it's like, you know, most of the times you're sitting in jail, you're like, damn, I fucked up. I did something stupid. You know what I mean? But something like that, I feel like you can take that. You know what I mean? You could take the whatever, couple years to or whatever it might have been, because like that's your son. Like, if you had to redo it, I'm sure you would do the same thing every time.
I'm sorry to say this, but for my kids, if I have to, I'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I used to get my ass whipped. You know what I'm saying? And and sometimes I didn't have nobody to back me up. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when you feel like your father got your back, even though they're trying to keep you away from your father, but by the end of the day, you know what? He's fighting for you, and he's doing whatever he can so you can be better than I was.
So what ends up happening with that case? You get convicted. Do you get a plea bargain? And you do a couple years in county. You go to trial. Do you remember?
Yeah, I ended up getting arrested for the gun afterwards when I got out on bail.
Gotcha.
Because they couldn't put it together. But yeah, I ended up taking him to trial. And
did you have a paid lawyer?
I didn't know.
Okay, just curious. Okay, so you go to trial.
Yeah, I took her to trial, and things happened before the trial, and the victim never showed up to the trial. They was trying to smoke me for the gun because they know that was the gun used in the case that I just beat, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yep.
So they was trying to give me the max, and I just plead out to that. At this time, they changed the law from a year mandatory to 18 mandatory.
Yeah.
So I was already like 15, 18 months already going to trial and all that.
Oh, okay, I was just about to
So they were like, the best deal I can give you right now, you know what I mean, is 2.5 in county, 18 mandatory, and then you can earn good time after the 18.
Yeah.
And then 3 years probation with 2.5 suspended from Lawrence Superior. So I took that. That was for possession of ammunition.
Okay.
So
just talk a little bit about like what it's like, and I know especially that situation, I would say that would probably be a whole justifiable act or whatever, you know, standing up for your son, but what's it like, what's the father side of you going through, like when you're in jail away from your son? Do you get to talk to him and like, do you start to like doubt, like, am I a good father? You know what I mean? Did I make the right choice? Am I a good father? Like, what are these conversations like that you're having with yourself? Or do you have conversations with other men about this stuff?
Honestly, I did it from the heart. I did it for him. And by the end of the day, it was worth it. You know what I mean? Because guess what? I get a surprise visit for my BN with my son. You know, they gave me bad news, but it was a good moment because I finally got to speak to her and my son at the same time. and they told me basically, thank you for being there, but we're moving to Florida. I respect the decision because, the way this dude was, you know what I'm saying? He was on some other shit, but I respect it. I was like, all I said to her, I like, whatever you do, if you have somebody else in your life, good luck, but please don't keep my son away from me, no matter how tough it gets with you and your partner, you know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to do with your partner, but when it comes to my son, don't try to keep him away from me, you know what I mean? Let me be there for him because I know how to be without a father, you know what I'm saying? So every way that I could to get to him, I did it, you know what I'm saying, to try to reach out to him. But, he's older now, and we got to talk, we got to break things down and clear his mind because you can always hear this side of the story and this side of the story, but all I want to let you guys know out there that no matter what, your kid's always going to find the truth. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever put the woman down or the man down. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always going to be both sides of the story. And it's going to come a time that he's going to realize, like, oh, shit, like, she lied or he lied. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to break that kid's heart because now he knows the truth. You know what I mean? You can cover the sky with one hand. It's just a matter of time, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
So what does this bit look like? Is it the same thing? You're getting in all the programs, still trying to do the right thing and trying to better yourself?
I was just trying to do all the good time that I can to get out of there, you know what I'm saying?
And then so you get out, you got all the superior probation now, right? You get out, what's that experience like on probation? Do they do you get a job to try to, show them the pay stubs? Like how does that work? And did you have a plan this time?
It was tough with a record trying to find a job, but luckily that my probation officer, he knew that I was trying. So he's like, yo, I got somebody that he's on probation that got a business, you know what I mean? And he need employees. So I'm like, hook me up, you know what I'm saying? And he hooked me up, and I worked there, you know what I mean, for a while, and that was good,
What kind of business is that? Do you remember?
We was working for Print Pro.
Okay.
It's like printing shirts, like Life is Good shirts and stuff like that.
Do you think it's important for, especially for like young men and the youth coming up to just get a job and learn some skills? And why do you think that may be important?
It's you know what I mean? Me personally, I like to learn how to do different things and always look forward to learn more things because you never know in the future, you know what I mean? Sometimes jobs that I done, it helped me out today. Like, oh, I remember when I used to do this and that, you know what I mean? And it came a time that I'm like, I'm glad I know this, so I can it helped me get through, you know what I mean?
And I feel like you never know what you might actually be like a natural. Like you may try something new and then take right to it and seem like you've been, that's why you got to keep that open mind and try new things. So you get this job. Do you end up completing this superior probation?
I almost didn't, but I did.
Okay.
Because I was in the club one point, and a good friend of mine's, his friends, and I seen them, and I'm by myself, you know what I mean? So I gave them a ride, and I guess one of them that was flashing a gun in the club, and they was watching them, so they stopped us, and that's the rest is history, you know what I mean? Nobody wanted to say whose gun it was, and I'm on probation. And that don't look good because I just finished doing time for a gun, you know what I mean? And me trying to look out and trying to give the brother a ride, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like by fire, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I get locked up, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, they get bailed out. I can't get bailed out because probation's holding me now.
Wow.
So now probation's like, what I'm supposed to think now? That you just got arrested for a gun and you just finished doing time for a gun. And you're on probation for ammunition. I'm like, wow, just give me the benefit of the doubt, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want you violate me when I got a month left to wrap up my probation. I got 2.5 over my head. I'm like, just let me get through this, you know what I mean? This shit's gonna go away and, you know what I mean? Just don't violate me, you know what I mean? He give me the benefit of the doubt and thank God he did because You know what I mean? He was one of the toughest probation officers there. So,
and then you completed that.
But he knew that I was doing everything he told me to do. You know what I mean? So, I'm like, he gave me the benefit of the doubt,
Sometimes they do.
And it worked out. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, my lawyer's like, listen, you could have a bazooka in there with grenades.
Right.
They didn't have no probable cause by stopping you anyways. You gave them a ride. They saw they jump in your car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They described the guy that was flashing it in there. You know what I'm saying? So they're basically like, listen, it was no probable cause. They don't know if that kid had license to carry. So they didn't have no reason to stop you, especially when you didn't give them the right to search your car.
Yeah, okay.
They violate you by just searching your car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyways, they got thrown out for all of us. You know.
Hey, good thing you had a good PO, because the PO can violate you just for catching that case. You know
I was just shocked, to be honest, that he gave me that chance. You know what I mean? But he knew that everything he told me to do down the list, I did. You know what I mean?
It was almost, what, 2.5 years you did the right thing.
Man, it was 3 years probation. I have a month left to wrap it up.
Yeah. You finished that probation. What events lead up to you catching the case where you eventually go upstate?
I'm already going the left, you know what I'm saying? Everything works out, you know what I mean?
Talk about what, did you decide to go to trial this time?
Took it to trial. You know what I mean? I will never take a case to trial unless I know they are not guilty. And that was the only case that I took to trial that I know for a fact. You know what I mean? There was bullshit.
Yep.
So I like, let's go all the way to trial, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I ended up doing 2 to 3, you know what I mean? So
it seems like you're extremely confident going into trial. I mean, is your lawyer telling you you're going to beat this? Do you got a paid lawyer? Or is this another court-appointed lawyer?
This is was a pay lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go to trial. The verdict comes back. You got co-defendants and stuff?
Yeah, I had a co-defendant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the verdict comes back. Guilty of what? Do they find you guilty of the armed robbery, or is it guilty of a lesser charge?
They went to unarmed, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And the judge
it was no gun involved or nothing like that, you know what I mean? It was she say, he say, you know.
So let's talk a little bit about what's you get the 2 to 3, right? So I take it you go from Middleton.
Yeah, I went
to where? Concord, Walpole?
Yeah, I went to Concord.
For classification?
For classification. Okay. You know what I mean? And then from there, I was already down for a little while, so I ended up, there was shifting a lot of people to Plymouth. You know what I mean? I want to go to Shirley, but then I ended up moved to Plymouth. And then from Plymouth, I had like a few months left, and I was trying to find a way to get closer to my town so the people can come see me, my family, but Plymouth is far.
Yeah, I've been to Plymouth.
Yeah, so, and it sucks. So if you've been to Plymouth, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
especially
you know what I mean? Everything's closed down, the business right on the block, on the second floor.
Especially if you're doing a state bid.
Yeah.
I mean, Concord
there was
better,
shifting
Shirley
a lot of people from upstate over there at that point, you know what I mean?
That sucks.
But yeah.
But I mean, jail's jail, you got to make, but any other like medium upstate at that time, especially, they got the weights, they got the big yard, you know what I mean? Plymouth, they got the rec deck right there, and then they got the gym a couple times a week, if that. So this time you do now it's a state bid, right? Do you have probation as well coming out? Do you get parole on the 2 to 3?
Parole I was supposed to see parole at 2, and, you know what I mean, get out in 2 or wrap it up in 3. So I just wrap it up in 3.
So you just denied you didn't even go in front of the parole board, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Waived your appearance, wrapped it up at 3.
Yeah.
No probation coming out?
No.
So you get out. We eventually meet up, right? Working, right? So COVID happens, and then we kind of go our own ways, right? But why don't you tell the people what it is like you're doing for work now, how long you've been doing that, and talk a little bit about that. Do you like what you do, man? I'm
one of the riggers that set up for this concerts that happens in Boston. I love my job. I love doing rigging. It's good money. Mm-hmm. You get to meet a lot of people, you know what I mean? That's where we met.
Yeah, I remember we did the Bad Bunny concert, man. Yeah, before he was really popping like he is now. I mean, I guess he had a buzz, but
yeah,
he deserved.
And but yeah, I love my job. I love what I do, and you get to meet a lot of people, and you get to meet the artists sometimes before they go on stage or after, and and it's pretty cool, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That I'm a type of person that sometimes when I got the time to build with somebody, you know what I mean? I like to, you know, see how they look at life or how they deal with life, you know what I mean? Because it can like give you a better idea about things, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool.
So I remember we're working together right before COVID. We were setting up for the New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you, tell the people, I obviously know, but tell the people like what happened that day. Essentially, I mean, you don't got to get into the crazy details, but I mean, we lost a co-worker.
Yeah, we lost a co-worker. And,
Brandon, what the hell? What are those mics?
Yeah, I really don't want to touch that. You know what I mean? It was a tough moment for both of us and the people that was there.
Horrific thing to see, bro.
And
somebody going to work, they should come home. You know what I mean? It's just you never know. Never know, you know what I mean? When you leave your house, tell your people you love them, and you never know.
You know, everything that happens in my life, especially that time and all those times that I went through, you learn from every time, something different. And
life is fragile, right? You know what I mean? Life is fragile. The human body is fragile. Our time here is temporary. None of it's guaranteed. None of it's promised. And we really got to make the most of it. And it's really about, I don't know, man. I hate to sound cheesy, but man, spreading love and spreading positivity and trying to make the world a better place, man. And I'm really, big into that, bro. So
yeah, me too.
So then COVID happens, right? We were kind of like the first things to start shutting down, right? We did large events, right? That was the first thing they kind of stopped a little bit. Boom. And then, that's when I went my separate ways. I got into construction a couple months later. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your journey, since we parted ways pretty much 2020, everything shut down, and then we kind of went our own way since then, bro.
No, I got back to it, working and try to get back on track, you know what I mean? Because it was tough for everybody to try to start all over from scratch. And I know it's still hard for people to get back on track, especially shout outs to those that have small businesses out there that they didn't have no choice but to shut it down, you know what I mean? I feel bad for them. I learned in life that in tough times like that, sometimes we gotta look at the good out of that, you know what I mean? Because we never know if there's a blessing behind it, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, we gotta keep going,
That's
you know
it.
what I mean?
And, okay, so, I mean, we're friends on Facebook, man. I saw you had like a tragic event happen. You want to get a little bit into that, man? And I'll let you tell it.
Before I get into it, I just wanna let you guys know that whatever you guys do, drinking or whatever you guys do, I don't care. I'm not saying anything what is bad and what's good, but whatever you do, if you don't got control of it, let it go. You know what I mean? And my problem, me personally, was drinking alcohol. You know what I mean? My thing was drinking Hennessy. I used to think drinking the pain away, it was making it better, and it felt like that. But the next day, I will have, you know what I mean? I will get locked up or not remember situations or fights or whatever that happened, you know what I mean? And then it gets old after a while, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially when you closest ones, you feel like, oh, this dude's acting up, you know what I mean? Let me stay away from him, you know what I mean? And I felt like I was pushing my closest one away, you know what I'm saying? Slowly, because not remember nothing, you being sincere about it, and not remember, you know what I mean? You disrespect your own man or you know what I mean? Or your loved one.
I've been there, bro.
Now it gets to the point that sorry's gonna get old after a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I've
many
been there.
stories.
You wake up and you're like, damn, I gotta apologize to Edgar, bro.
You
like,
feel me?
You know, if you even remember that, you might have to look at a text or a couple people telling you, like, bro, you gotta apologize to Bobby, bro, what you did. You know, even if you don't remember, you know, I've been there, bro.
when I know it was my fault, I do apologize, but after a while, it's like a broken record.
Yeah, the best
I mean?
apology, they say, is to change behavior. So, you know, if you keep doing the same thing, are you really sorry? I mean, you might be, but they might not perceive it that way, and that's fair. You know?
Yeah, no, and so I let, after my second DUI, I lost my license for like 10 years, and depending on people's ride to get to work and make money, it's tough.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It got to the point after my second DUI, I literally just stopped cold turkey. I was like, I still had like liquor in the car when I picked it up the next day, and I just pulled it out, and I'm like, this is it. This is because of you. You know what I mean? I'm going backwards instead of going forward.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you like this, best decision ever. You know what I'm saying? I stopped cold turkey. Sometimes you never know who's watching, you know what I mean? Because I didn't think I would ever stop drinking, you know what I mean? And sometimes you make decisions so you can be a better man and make better moves in life. And, you know, people came to me like, yo, like, I started drinking because you stopped, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, I'm making a difference without trying, you know what I'm saying? And that, not only that happened, but me, you know what I mean, through this COVID thing, you know what I'm saying? You watching videos on YouTube and things like that, and it came a video that I came across, and it was Oprah with like a few people talking about The Secret, and it caught my attention. So when I watched it, I'm like, The Secret, you know what I mean? So I looked at it on Netflix back then, and it came out. I guess they got the book and everything, so I watched it, and my brother, I'm telling you, it changed my life, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's based on the law of attraction, you know what I mean? Okay. And if you Google it, positive attract positive, negative attract negative. Everything's energy. And I watched that, and I did my homework about it, and it ended up being a blessing to me, you know what I'm saying? And then I started building my credit, you know what I mean? I got with DCU, Digital Credit Union. Yeah. For those that don't know, try that out, you know what I mean?
So what are the benefits of that as opposed to a regular bank? I mean, this is a question I'm interested in.
Yeah, so this is a credit union, and a lot of times to build your credit, it's good to have a credit union, not a regular bank.
Okay.
And since this is when I first got with DCU, a lot of people didn't really know about it, and I even started learning about it, but I was just trying to do my homework about which credit union I should go to before I start building my credit. Yeah. Out of all of them, I feel like this is the one, you know? I did my homework. I ended up getting a car, and the owner, I know him, and he's like, yo, you should go to the DCU and da-da-da. And since all these things started happening in life and it working for me, I was like, every time I have a conversation with somebody, I was like, yo, things that helped me change my life, I said, DCU, first of all, The Secret, you know, because you got to change your mindset, you know what I'm saying? I watched The Secret, then DCU came after that, and I started building my credit, and it took me to a better place. After the years went by, you know what I mean, to make a long story short and get to what happened to me, which is one of the things I went through more than that before, but I went to Puerto Rico, and I ended up going to Gozalandia, and you gotta jump out, and I kind of like slipped and hit the rocks. It was like 50 feet, wow. And I'm the only survivor one, you know what I mean? Thank God. Yeah. And I feel like it was not my time, you know what I mean? I feel like everybody got a purpose in this life. Yeah. And I feel like I needed to go through hell and back plenty times, and be here to be able to send my message to somebody, which I hope through this interview and this what we're doing here, that can change at least one person's life, you know what I mean? Because it changed my life.
Why don't you talk a little bit about like the injuries that you sustained to let people know how?
What it saved me was my hands, you know, my hands hit first, then my forehead. I broke my eye socket, 70 stitches. I broke my hands. I had a surgery in my hand. I still need one more. I broke my, shot on my wrist, elbow, and knee. To this day, people they don't understand how I didn't die, because my body ended up falling in the water after all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? surprised I didn't drown, and that I still remember people, and it's just crazy, you know what I mean? Like, people that jumped from there before me, they just literally hit straight head first and died right in the spot.
And this was in front of your family as well, too, right?
Yeah, my kids that was there, you know what I mean? It was, I took them to, you know what I mean? So like that, they know where I grew up and how beautiful my island is, and you know, just trying to show them a good time.
It's just crazy how you go from, you know, seemingly like such a happy moment, right? Like bringing the kids to where you grew up. You're in this beautiful tropical island, beautiful water, and then tragedy. And I'm sure that was traumatic for them to watch you, even though you're all fine now, man.
That's my littlest one, he was 8, you know, when that happened. Matter of fact, he was 7.
Wow.
You know, that was 2 years ago.
Is that something that you talk about with them, like seeing that?
I talked to them after this happened to me, you know what I mean? And I got out of the hospital when I came this way. And I sit down and I told them, you know, like, if you want to talk to a counselor or you need help, feel free to ask me any questions or have a counselor talk to the counseling school, whatever that can help you, you know. But, you know, I just, you know, when everything's said and done, they got to see me laying down, and from laying down to a wheelchair, from a wheelchair to taking baby steps, and be able to take a shower on my own and using the bathroom on my own. So they saw the stages, you know what I mean? And, you know, even though it was tough for me and my kids, but I know that one day they will be like, you know what? If my dad made it through this, why I can get through that? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, you know what I mean? I believe that seeing me not giving up and keep going, you know what I mean? And taking the next few steps to be able to walk and get back to work and do things that I want to do. I know they learn from that, you know what I'm saying? So
I want to get a little bit into the mind state, right? Because we were talking before this. You said you remember jumping and then kind of blacking out. Now you wake up in the hospital. What's like the first thought that comes to your mind, bro? Like, I guess walk me through that. Like, finally gaining consciousness, putting it together. What happened? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. When I got up, I was in this hospital that they literally, I heard I got there at 4 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, I was still with my forehead open without stitches and you know what I mean, bleeding. Like, Puerto Rico is beautiful, but if you go there and
get hurt.
And to get help, you know what I mean, in the hospital, you might struggle to get attention, you know what I mean? Especially if you don't got insurance, you know what I mean?
Did you have a conversation with God? Like, did you thank God for being alive when you came to? Like, what's going through your mind as far as like spiritually and a whole new outlook on life?
Well, you know what I mean? After that happens to me, of course, I thank God for another day, you know? And that's something that I do every day, you know? You gotta be grateful for another day, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It was tough, you know what I mean? Me, like I told you before, watching The Secret, since I'm in a different, I changed my mindset, and I know everything works with positive energy and all that good stuff. It helped me heal quicker because everything starts here. So a lot of people, they're like, after this happened to me, and they saw me, they're like, I was expecting to see you in a wheelchair, you know what I mean? And you're already walking. And I'm like, everything's here, you know what I'm saying? If you have it on your mind, you know what I mean? You will have it in your hands, you know what I mean? And you just gotta keep going, you know? And by having that mindset, it helped me heal quicker and not give up, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people in situations like that, they be like, oh, poor me, you know what I mean? My life is never gonna be the same. Nah, like, my life's gonna get better, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it made me stronger, you know? So a lot of times we go through some tough times like that, it makes you weak, but it makes you stronger by the end of the day. And
Absolutely.
And I'm just blessed to be able to be here and tell my story, you know what I'm saying? And it being a blessing, you know what I'm saying?
And you being the only survivor of other people who have, they jumped and, whatever happened, they didn't, they hit the rock and they didn't make it. You're the only one to survive that. Like, how does that feel? Do you feel like you're here for a purpose, and what do you think that may be?
I feel that I got a purpose, and the purpose is to tell my story. You know what I'm saying? And if I came from the mud, from nothing to something, if it was working for me, why it can't work for you?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, if you even want to go and get straight to the point, you can type whenever famous people on the law of attraction, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna come out that they live in their dream.
Yeah.
Why we can't live our dream?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But you know what it is? Our doubts and fear block our blessings, you know what I'm saying? So the longer you know that it's gonna happen the way you want to, it's gonna happen. You just gotta trust the process, you know what I'm saying?
Where do you think these doubts and fears come from? Do you think it's something that our parents passed down to us coming up poor, you know what I mean? And
yeah, you got right on the point. So since I grew up poor in the countryside of Puerto Rico, that means that I grew up with a limit, you know what I'm saying? And seeing my mom working 2 jobs, so now since we grew up with that limit, that's all we know. But when you watch The Secret and change that mindset and you be like, it's no limit, sky's the limit.
Right.
Then you be like, you think bigger and you be like, wow, like, I wish I would have known this when I was younger. But guess what? I know now, and better late than never. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of my homies, they're dead or doing life in jail.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the chance to have a better life because they didn't have the chance to change that mindset, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you're in survival mode and when you're on the street, it's like, you don't, everything, believe it or not, is negative.
Yeah.
So you know what? You're gonna be like, damn, I got bad luck. Why I keep getting locked up? Because I'm attracting negative energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But if I feel good and I do things that I want to do and it feels good, you'll be like, this feels good. You know what I mean? I don't keep doing what I'm doing because I want to keep feeling good. You know what I mean? And me having conversations with people and telling them things that I've done to change my life for the better, it made me feel good. You know what I mean? Because when I tell them, yo, did you watch Secret? That you got with DCU? That you working on your credit? They be like, yo, they come back years later and I bump heads with them. They're like, yo, I appreciate that conversation I had with you because I got my business, my family, they good. I put attention and I put work on what you said and anything you need, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, you by telling me that, it's no money in the world that can pay the good feeling.
Yeah.
And when you do shit from the heart like that, God bless you twice. You know what I'm saying?
You can't buy that good feeling
Yeah,
at all.
you know what I mean? It's no money in the world can buy that feeling. So everything that I do in life, I want you to know everything you do it because you want to, not because you have to. Because when you have to, you attract a negative energy.
Yeah, I always say, when you don't got to, you get to.
Yeah.
I don't got to go to work, I get to go to work. It's a privilege.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And
grateful.
our thoughts and words are very powerful, so watch what you say, you know what I'm saying? So I learned all that, and when you do your homework about law of attraction, you're gonna understand how life works, you know what I mean? And or you always keep that positive energy around you, you know what I mean? I always got that saying, positive life, positive vibe only, you know what I mean? That's it.
So the rehab process, right? I worked in a hospital. I worked at Spalding Rehab, so I know a little bit about what goes into it, but I know it's a process, right? It doesn't happen overnight, right? We come from the streets where it's like, J.G. Wentworth, it's my money, I need it now. We want instant gratification. We want everything now. So, I mean, you must have developed a lot of patience during that process, and like kind of what got you through that, the positive thinking, and like what did you learn about yourself throughout that entire process of the rehabilitation, the physical rehab? I'm sure it was a lot mental as well, right? Even though it's physical rehab, there's a lot of mental work.
Like I was saying, I'm glad that I got to watch that and do my homework, because now since I know that everything starts here to the body, it helped me move different and focus on what I want to accomplish, which is get up and walk, start walking, be able to work, and you know, and it was tough, you know what I mean? Because you know, it's not easy, but you just gotta not give up. You know what I'm saying? Consistency is is everything. You know what I'm saying? So the longer you don't give up and you keep going until you make it happen, keep going. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody tell you different. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what did you learn about yourself throughout that process? Did you learn that you were more resilient, or than you had thought, or that you can, if you could go through this, you could do anything? Man?
I learned that day before I jumped. I learned that always, no matter what you think or how you feel, always go with your gut feeling. You know what I mean? Your gut is like your second heart. You know what I'm saying? So always go with your gut feeling, and if you go with your gut, I promise you're gonna go to the right path.
Yeah.
You know
I always say that's God, right? Because God's not gonna just pop up and be like, "Yo, B, this is what you gotta do," and tell you, right? It's these feelings, the instincts. You know what I mean?
I want you to know, and everybody out there, that we human beings having we are spiritual beings having a human being experience.
I like that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we literally, like, we here for a purpose. You know what I mean? I know my purpose already. You know what I'm saying? And it's to do something like this. And you know, you want to hear something crazy? I said to myself, I wish I can find a way to tell my story. You know what I'm saying? And the longest I can change one life, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, you know what I mean? We spoke, and you hit me up, and I'm like, yo, like, you know what I mean? So,
perfect,
so I spoke that to assistance, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's brought to me, so I'm like, how am I gonna say no to the moment that I want it? You know what I mean? Because I know that somebody's gonna see this, and it's gonna make a difference to somebody out there, you know what I mean? Which I hope a lot of people watch this. And one of the things that I want to do, if I got the opportunity to talk to the president or anybody that can make that happen, and they'll be like, what you would do to change the world? I would be like, you know what? I got an idea. And it will be at least the year before they graduate from high school, or even when they start high school, a few years before, but especially before they graduate, have a class based on credit and another class based on the law of attraction. So now they're on the right mindset. So now if they don't go to college, at least they're on the right track, because now they're like, all right, let me make up my mind right, let me get my credit right, and they're gonna understand that everything's based on positive energy. So they're gonna be in the best behavior, you know what I'm saying? So they're gonna make the right choices and get the dream, you know what I mean? They're gonna make it happen by applying credit and changing that mindset, you know what I mean, with the law of attraction, you know?
Absolutely, man.
So,
and having done, like, you got the couple county bids, you got the state bid, right? Add all that up with the juvenile and the probation, right? The system, right? Jail, prison. You know, we see a lot of glorification, right? Whether that's music or the movies or TVs of, like, that lifestyle and being that dude and you know, going to jail and making a name in there. So I always like to ask, like, so that people know, like, in your opinion, what's the worst part about prison, jail, the system in general?
The way they treat you, you know what I'm saying? They don't treat you as a person, you know what I'm saying? They treat you like you nothing, you know what I'm saying? And they tell you what to do, you're in control, you know what I'm saying? And it's tough when you feel like you low, you feel low, you know what I'm saying? And like you're not worth nothing, you know what I mean? And me, when I did time, I always find something to do, either a routine, working out, or working, you know what I mean? Or anything to keep myself busy and keep my mind off the street, the outside, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be so busy that by the time I get to my cell, it's time to take a shower and go to sleep because I'm beat, you know what I mean? So I always have a routine to make sure I keep myself busy and keep my mind off extra shit, you know what I'm saying, that I don't have to deal with and stress myself out.
And hopefully it doesn't have to come to that. Hopefully we're up here telling our story so y'all don't have to go to prison, to jail, and stay busy. You know what I mean? We'd rather you stay out, you know what I mean? Especially with the internet. It's just so many opportunities now, like you said, from everything from printing shirts, there's other ways, man, and we just wanted to let you know what comes like with that life and everything too, man. And it's a lot of heartbreak, it's a lot of pain, it's a lot of growing, it's a lot of looking at yourself, man. But doing that time as well, man, what are some things you learned about yourself, being able to get through something like even, them taking your freedom away, being away from your kids, man? What'd you learn about yourself?
I learned myself that I always had to go hard, you know what I'm saying? I always knew that. And but sometimes when you're in survival mode, you gotta put a wall, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta block all that good shit so they don't think that they can cross you, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's gonna come a time somebody's gonna try, so you gotta make a sample if you're in the streets, you know what I'm saying? And you're doing what you're doing, But I'm telling you, I just want you to guys know out there that it's not worth it, you know what I mean? It was a wasting of time, you know what I mean? And right now, everything that I said, you know what I mean? Get your credit right, get your mind right, because that's gonna help you get to your dream and what you really want, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You the director and the main character on your own movie, remember that, you know what I'm saying? So the question is how you want it, you know what I'm saying? And I learned that peace equals happiness. So I'm in a type of time that I just want peace, and I know that comes with happiness, you know what I mean? And I want to be happy, you know what I'm saying? And no matter how tough it is right now, I'm going to keep going, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to let everybody tell me any difference, you know what I mean? I know my time is around the corner, you know what I mean? And your time is around the corner. And all of us out there, you know what I mean? We all going through things in life that it's tough, and sometimes we feel like giving up, but don't give up. Please don't give up, you know what I mean? Please believe in yourself, love yourself. If you don't love yourself, there's no way you can love another person, and that's that. So love yourself, do things that is gonna make you feel good, take care of yourself, do things that you wanna do, go to the beach, go work out, listen to the music that is gonna bring that good vibe, you know what I'm saying? And always stay with people that on that good vibe, because that's how blessings come to you, you know what I mean? If you can be the positive person in the world, but if you got a partner that is negative, guess what? It's gonna slow down your blessings, it's gonna block your blessings, because now you're wasting this energy on this person that not caring about your future. You know what I mean? It's just caring about what you're gonna do for that person, you know what I mean? And sometimes wasting all that energy and all that time, by the end of the day, it pass a few years and you'll be like, I think I wasted my time. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? You learn from it.
You have to,
And you know what? I'm blessed to be here, and I'm blessed to learn all these things. But all I know that finally in my life, I can say that, you know what? I'm single. I love myself. I know blessings is around the corner. This ain't forever, and I know I got a purpose. And you know what? I'm gonna bring it to the light. And if you guys please get to watch The Secret and get your credit right, and you guys see that this is working for you, like it's working for me, do me a favor, pass it on to your loved ones or to your kids. You know what I mean? And the earlier the kids know about these two things, they're gonna have a better future and they're gonna be all set when they grow up because now they know better and now they know how to make the right decisions, you know what I mean? So
to get that head start.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's, you know what I mean? Like I wish I had somebody come to my life when I was young and be like, yo, watch the secret, get your credit right because everything's credit and and I'm like, but you know what? It's a blessing that I was be able to do that and still be able to still do what I want to do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So why don't you talk a little bit about your goals moving forward? Like what are you looking forward to with as far as like the fatherhood journey, and where do you see yourself in 5 years, man?
I just want to get to the point in life that I'm gonna be good and make sure that my kids are good and my loved ones are good, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep passing the message, you know what I mean? That, you know what I mean, you got the beautiful thing in this life is that you got to make the last decision. You know what I mean? I can tell you, give you an advice, but I guess who make the last decision? You.
Right.
So you got the right to say no or yes to things. You know what I mean? And if you say yes to things that is gonna benefit you and be a better man for you, your family, or whoever you love, why not?
Yeah.
It's a win-win. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just follow your heart on whatever you do. Don't tell nobody different. You're born alone and you're gonna die alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how you wanna die, happy or miserable?
Yeah.
I wanna die happy. You know what I'm saying? So, and when I'm gone, I know that I will change a life and somebody can be like, you know what? He was a crazy motherfucker back then, but you know what? He became a good man and he changed life, you know what I'm saying? And that's all I want. I want everybody to know that we got the choices to make it better, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about you making that decision and be like, you know what? It's all about me. I'm gonna love myself. I'm gonna do things that I love and keep going, you know what I'm saying? I learned how to have at least 5 things on top of the list that is gonna change negative to positive. And it can be go to the beach, work out, listen to music. You know what I mean? Whatever works for you to be in a good mood, keep that in mind. So like that, when you're in a bad move, you can switch it from negative to positive. You know what I'm saying? Just like Biggie said.
And that's where the open mind comes into it, though, because you might not know what's going to help you till you try it. You got to try new things. You know what I mean? Try the working out or try whatever it was. But yeah, what did Biggie say? I love Biggie. So what was he about to quote?
So, you know, when I listened to this song for so many years, and now that I'm in tune and I changed my life and I changed my mindset, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
He say, I turn negative to a positive and it's on. But if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah,
you feel
absolutely.
me? So now it's like, oh shit, now I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I used to listen to all the time.
And it went over your head.
Yeah, so sometimes it's like, at that point I was hearing, but I was not listening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now I'm listening. You know what I mean?
That's important. So why was it important for you and for others to come up here and tell their story? Why do you think it's important, man?
I believe everybody went through different things in life, just like you went through things. You can change just with your story. You can change people's life, just like me. You know, everybody went through different things in life. It's a blessing when I find out the first time that you did the bounce back broadcast, and I'm like, you know how many times I bounced back? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, that's me, you know what I'm saying? That's us. That's all of us out there that started, they was out here and they went rock bottom and bounced back, you know what I mean? And I did that plenty of times, and it got to the point in life that I'm like, I gotta do something different, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? I was in the street making my money, right? And then this person that was in high school with me, I get out after 2 years and they got a car and a house. And I'm like, what they doing with it? They're not doing. Yeah. Guess what they was doing? Building their credit. You know what? They can start working at Market Basket at 14.
Yeah.
Why not start building the credit? When they hit 18 and they graduate high school, they got their own house, their own car, and I'm over here making all this money to pay lawyers, canteen or whatever, and guess what? It ain't got me nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So build that credit, get that mindset right, and pass it on, man, because I promise you, you're going to win. And my goal in life is I want everybody to win.
Yeah.
So imagine the world just based on positive energy.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want one day before I go, I want to see everybody happy, everybody winning. You know what I'm saying? But the only way we can do that is play our part and change that mindset, get that credit right, and do things that you love, you know what I mean? And pass it on to your loved one, because there's a lot of people that know about this secret and credit, but guess what? They don't pass it on because they don't want to see you shine over them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is not fair, but since they're not pure and they're holding back on that knowledge and wisdom, that's why they got the up and downs, you know what I mean? But now it's like, now everybody's awake, everybody got on the TikTok, they're finding out about this and that. So I'm glad that people's getting awake and they notice that, you know what I mean, everything's based on positive energy, and that's the only way you can get your blessings. So let's keep doing your homework about the law of attraction, watch The Secret. They got it right now on Tubi for free. They got it on YouTube, and yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. And if you like to read, they got the book. You know what I'm saying? So it's being a blessing, man.
Manifestation, man. If you had any, any closing words or anything that you wanted to touch on, maybe we didn't get a chance to, or like I said, just maybe a last message for the audience before I let you go, bro.
I just want to thank you guys, especially you, for opening the doors and giving me this opportunity. I want to thank you guys for having the time to watch this video. Everything that I said that changed my life, try it out. I promise you that you don't got nothing to lose. You're going to win. I promise you that. I know we all going through different things in life, and, but by the end of the day, if I had the power, trust me, I will make that happen with the schools and get this law of attraction class and credit and how to build your credit and all that, another class of that. And if somebody hear this and got the power to make that happen, I think it will be a better word out there in the future, because right now we're going left.
Yeah.
And the only way we can change the future is having the kids learn about this, that is gonna make them go right, you know what I'm saying? And I promise you, if anybody out there see this and got the power to make that happen, you know what I mean, many blessings, and that will be my dream, you know what I mean? Because I know that can make a big difference in this life for our kids, you know what I'm saying? And so please, whoever out there that watch this, please, if you got the power to make that happen, make it happen, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be gone one day and, you know what I mean, and our kids, my kids, be on the left side, you know what I mean, instead of the right side, you know what I mean? And the way we going right now, we going left, and we trying to go right, you know what I'm saying? So everybody, if everybody, I can change the word, but I know if somebody can plant the seed here and there, we can get our blessings sooner or later and have a better future for our kids, you know what I mean? So if anybody got kids, follow me on that and play your part, because, you know what I mean, life is too short to be playing games, and I wasted my time making stupid decisions, but I'm glad that I'm alive to be able to make a difference. And the way I was going hard body in the street, I want to go hard body on the positive side and let them know that it's a way, you know what I mean, that we can go and be better. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and I'm glad you're all right too, man. I'm glad you survived that, because that would have been tough, because I like you a lot. You're a good dude.
Same here,
but also
brother.
for that to happen in front of your kids, and then if you didn't make it, could have been a much worse situation for them and everybody, man. And, God bless it, and thank God that you are here, and I appreciate you telling your story, and I'm looking forward to, seeing where our paths take each other moving forward, and I'm sure we'll cross paths again, and it's been great, bro.
I know, I got a feeling that we're gonna have another interview probably 5 years from now, and we're gonna be like, yo, remember what we talked? You know what I mean? We made a difference, and you know what? By you open the doors for me, and people like me that try to give back to the community, you know what I mean, and kids out there, you know what I mean, it's gonna make a difference. So it's just a matter of time that you're gonna get your blessings, and I'm gonna get my blessing, and everybody out there, they're gonna get the blessings. But we just gotta be patient and trust the process, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, guys. We're gonna end the interview right there. It is what it is. What's next is what you make it. This is the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. Thanks again, my man. And we're out of here.
Bounce back, ain't got a moment. When they see you down, just know they love it all.
Yeah. B. Luke. Scandalous Entertainment, S-Squad, EC in the building, baby. Yeah. She can run it up and drop it low. Versatile. Stop or go, just don't know. Yo, she versatile. Lay their hands like a man, but got a purpose. Rate she can work it wild. Love it when they versatile. Thought that you'd be glad to see me smile, cause up top made sure you had a seated child. If you with my peoples now, you know we never speak at trials. Know that I am easy, and you know just how much we miss Cal. Know this shit ain't easy, free my brother. Yo, it's been a while, fucked up in my head. Oh, you can bet I am my mother's child. Man, this shit so fucking wild. Get them bucks up, dancing like I'm Puff, but do not get this shit fucked up. Hard shell to crack, it's just a fact, I am a tough nut. Crossed the train tracks and came back all fucked up. What's up, bro? Really wish that you was home, man. Fuck Joe. Heard you back up in the hole again. That's just how it going there. Sometimes you gotta throw them hands. Use a lock up in the sock. If not, then use a soda can. Fall back. You and me are not the same, so let's not cap. I know you know the name, ho. All facts. See, I made moon lean, yo. Never let that pain go. Got it in the strangle.